You've been recommended cancer genetic testing by your provider? Unfortunately, cancer is common. Most people diagnosed will develop sporadic cancer, where there's no suspected inherited reason. Others may have a strong family history of cancer. A smaller percentage will have hereditary cancer, when a genetic explanation for their increased risk has been passed down from generation to generation. Hereditary cancer syndrome is associated with an increased risk of breast, ovarian, colon, pancreatic, or prostate cancer, along with less common cancers. Genetic testing identifies whether you have a mutation in your DNA that increases cancer risk. Every cell has DNA you've inherited from your parents. Think of your DNA as letters of the alphabet. Genes are sections of your DNA where those letters make up the instructions to form proteins that allow your body to function. When there is a misspelling or mutation in one of these genes, it can negatively impact the protein. For example, some of your protein are responsible for repairing everyday damage in your cells. When this damage can't be repaired, it may allow a normal cell to become a cancer cell. Finding a genetic mutation allows us to identify which cancers you're at increased risk of developing, letting us discuss appropriate cancer screening and potential risk-reducing options. Sometimes there are treatment options available targeting a genetic mutation. Genetic testing is done with a simple blood draw or a saliva sample that's sent to a testing lab. Results may take several weeks. Your provider will contact you or schedule a follow-up appointment. There are 3 possible genetic testing results. Negative, which means no genetic mutation or pathogenic variant was identified. At this time, there's no inherited genetic explanation for your diagnosis. Positive, which means a genetic mutation or pathogenic variant was identified that is associated with an increase in cancer risk, or variant of uncertain significance, also called a VUS, which means the spelling of one of your genes was different than expected, although we don't know that it's associated with an increased risk of cancer. In this case, none of our clinical recommendations will change based on your genetic testing results. Because DNA is inherited, if a genetic mutation is identified, it's likely that you inherited it from one of your parents. If a mutation is identified, each of your siblings would have had a 50% chance of having inherited that mutation from your parents. This also means that your children have a 50% chance of inheriting it from you. Contact your family members and inform them of the test result so they can decide if they want to undergo genetic counseling and testing. When genetic testing is recommended, it is considered standard of care based on your diagnosis. Testing is billed to your insurance, like any other diagnostic test. Genetic testing information is covered by HIPAA. This requires the protection and confidential handling of protected health information, such as genetic testing results. The GINA Act of 2008 protects individuals from discrimination based on genetic testing results from health insurance and by employers. This doesn't cover life insurance, disability insurance, or long-term care insurance, which can ask for genetic testing information. Your provider or a team member will answer any questions. If you'd like to proceed with testing today, your team will complete the necessary paperwork and collect your sample. Your provider will contact you as soon as testing is completed, and if positive, you'll return to discuss the results.